Inspiration Conversations. I'm your host, Regina Partain Bergman, CEO of Bridgeport Strategy and co founder of the CEO Holy Grail. I am so excited about tonight's show. I have a wonderful guest co host that I got to meet on a previous show. We've had an opportunity to spend some time together on some things, and I'm so thrilled to welcome Miss Sierra Jones as my guest co host tonight. Welcome, Sierra. How are you tonight?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. It's been a long week. It's been a long week, hey, it's Thursday. I'm telling you, this week has flown by. The month has flown by. I'm just like, hold on, what? Tomorrow's August 15th.
I know the
How
year
is
has
August
flown.
15th? The year is flown by. And I'm like, wait a minute. I thought it was August 1st, like yesterday. Whoa. So
I
yeah.
know. I was double checking myself this morning. I went, August? Really? Am I sure it's not
Yeah.
July? No, it's August.
Yeah.
It's mid-August.
It's August. Oh, it's August. It is
It's
August.
going. This is the fastest year in my history. It's
Yeah.
just,
Yeah,
it's,
seriously, it feel like the year just started and it's already like it's crazy. Yeah.
yeah, it's crazy. So, Miss Sierra, would you please tell us a little bit about your journey? First of all, I want to tell folks who you are, and then I want you to tell us about your journey, who you serve, and why. So, folks, Sierra is a tax strategist. Great. Something everybody needs in their toolbox, right? It's a tax
Of course,
strategist.
absolutely.
Especially if you are a business owner, you need a tax strategist. She is a
Absolutely.
profit advisor at A Plus Tax and Financial Solutions. And I love the work that you're doing in this other area. She is the executive director at Swim Strong, which is about aqua abilities for autism. So, again,
Yes.
welcome, Sierra. Please tell us a bit about you and your journey, who you serve.
Yeah, yes. As you stated, I am a tax strategist, and I've been in the financial industry for over 15 years, but I have been a full-time entrepreneur for the last 5 years. And I serve women entrepreneurs who high earning women entrepreneurs who are at least making six figures and above. I pretty much help them stay financially organized and cut down on their tax bill. My goal is to help you save at least 10K on your tax bill to avoid that IRS bill, and also to plan smarter. The reason behind this is because what was happening is I run across a lot of women that are in business, and I noticed we're great at what we do. We love what we do. We know how to do what we do, and we make great money. The problem is we give it all back to the IRS, and that's where I'm like, oh man, you could have done XYZ with your money to where it could have grew something in your business. It could have done something else versus giving it over to the IRS. I feel like and a lot of it is just people just don't know. And so there's other smarter legal ways to, make your money work for you. And so that's what I
Yeah.
come in to do. And I love it. Like I said, I seen there was a need for that. Like I said, you're making the money, but are you able to keep the money and see the money? That's the difference in it. So that's a little bit about me and what I do and who I serve.
Excellent. Appreciate it so much. I'm so glad to have you here tonight
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
to meet these lovely ladies that you have brought to the show. So, would you please introduce each of our guests that you've invited, share a little
Yes.
bit about them, and then have them introduce themselves as well?
Absolutely. All right. So I'll go with Letitia Wilson. I met her on social media. Actually, all these ladies, I've met them on social media. I have never met them in person. So let me tell you, when they say, no new friends, I don't believe in that. Definitely new friends. So I don't believe in that. But like I said, all these ladies, I've never seen them in person. I've all met them all on social media, and they all are amazing at what they do. Start with Letitia Wilson. We are actually in the same industry. We are in the financial industry, and she is a wealth strategist. She loves to educate and empower business owners to the same thing, to really to learn how to manage your money better and to make it work better for you. That is what she thrives on. I love how passionate she is about her business, how she shows up. And this is somebody you truly need to have in your back pocket. Okay. She doesn't play about her business. And that's what I love. None of these ladies play about their business. So that's why they're here. Because that's why they're here. So yeah,
So, let's have
go ahead.
Letitia tell a bit about her. Yeah, let's have her tell a bit about herself and who she serves and why.
Thank you,
Absolutely.
Sierra, for that great introduction. As she mentioned before, we haven't met each other in person, but we talk all the time. Like, so you would have thought we have met each other
Yeah.
in person. But good evening, everyone. I am Letitia Wilson. Owner and founder of LC Financial Solutions. As Sierra mentioned, I am a tax and wealth strategist here. And with my company, we help people maximize their wealth, minimize their taxes, and master their legacies. I help people and business owners from all walks of life master their funds and show them how to basically build financial success. And like Sierra says, she helps people with lowering their tax bill, helping them save. I do that as well, but I also take the funds that you are saving and I help you build that into different wealth strategies to help you become successful later on in life, especially in retirement. Because, like Sierra mentioned before, everyone that's in the industry, we make great money, but we giving it back to the IRS. And once we do that, we need to figure out, okay, how can we not give our money back to the IRS, and what can we do for our future income as well as far as retirement? I know no one really wants to work until they're 70, 80 years old. And so here, we definitely specialize in helping educating our customers and clients on how to build that wealth from any start of life. You typically think of when you have to build wealth, you have to have hundreds of thousands of dollars, but honestly, you don't. So here we can help you start budgeting, we can help you start retirement planning. If you have $10, $100,000, or even $10,000. So that's what we do here at LC Financial Solutions.
Awesome.
Yeah. Thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah, I told you she don't play no games. So that's she's on it. She's on it. I love it. And then we have Ashtini Bryant. And I also, like I said, I've never met her in person, but we have connected on social media. We've actually had a chance to talk outside of social media. Love her. We have a lot of things in common that I had no idea. She's an amazing woman, and she is about her business as well. I know she helps women and help entrepreneurs really help with the funding part of how to secure true capital and showing them different ways that they can get more resources and things like that to help grow and get into investing and things like that. I've just learned just joining a class about a week or two ago, and I learned so much. So she is an amazing resource to have in your back pocket. I'll let her do the introduction, but y'all, she's amazing as well.
Well, thank you so much, Sierra, for that introduction. And I appreciate you again for having me here. I'm so happy to be here. So I thank you for this invite.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. So I'm Ashtini Bryant, and I am a strategic capital expert. I focus on helping women actually really build and scale their businesses so that they can unapologetically build wealth and actually enjoy it. Because a lot of times you feel a lot of shame behind that. And so I really help women access private money, as well as leveraging their relationships to scale their businesses. Because we need the funding to be able to scale our businesses. And so sometimes we may not have immediate access to those funds. And so I help women learn to actually access different types of capital. So I help with them accessing institutional capital, as well as just private money strategies. I currently hold over 100 plus doors in real estate. I'm in commercial multifamily. So that is another side of it. I then teach them how to take that money and invest it into different commercial projects so that they can actually earn and build wealth over time and have a lasting legacy. And then they have their money actually working for them. And so I have raised over $1 million in capital, and I have helped women access and raise over $1 million in capital.
Yes. Love it. Yeah, she's a true gem to have for sure to connect with, especially if that's something that you're interested in doing. Like she said, knowing how to truly scale and using that different resources and things like that. Yeah. Absolutely. Okay. And then we're moving on to Maxine Henderson. I met her on social media as well. Oh, what has it been a year or two ago? I know we haven't met in person. I actually thought she was here in my area, but she was in a different state. But either way, we met, and I love what she does. I went down her page. I was like, oh yeah, she's super passionate about what she does. She business credit, business funding, that's your girl. She is very educational as well. She truly cares about the people that she worked with. She provides countless of resources and things like that. You can find her on all social media platforms. She's there. I love her content, by the way. And she is straight blunt, and she tells it like it is. I love it. And I know her clients love it. She hands down is amazing as well, as far as making sure that what Ashley said, accessing that capital so where you can scale your business. A lot of times we want to learn how to do that, and we just don't have the right people that we can trust in our back pockets, the right financial team and financial experts. And like I said, she brings a good piece to the puzzle. So yes, I'll let you introduce yourself, Maxine.
Thank you, Sierra, for that introduction. My name is Maxine Henderson. I am the owner and founder of the Lavish Business Experience, where I help nonprofits and small businesses build and get funding. I'm also a certified funding broker and a grant writer as well. So I've secured about $4 million in funding. As far as capital, I'm probably at the six-figure mark. I got into this not knowing a lot about it. I just educated myself on it and found out that a lot of small business owners aren't operating efficiently. They're not properly structured. They're just winging it. And what made me so passionate about it, of course, is because my community is so far behind when it comes to knowledge of actually operating a business. Everybody can hustle through a business, but I teach them how to really get to the bank, because I show them what funders really want you to have. They don't want you to be in hustle mode, and even though that's how most of them were trained to be in hustle mode, I get them out of it. Like Sierra said, like I don't play when it comes to helping them secure that bag. Like I was like, nope, you can't use a Gmail, you can't use a Yahoo, you can't do all of that. So I take them from literally A to Z with getting the business development side, structuring their business correctly, letting them know what funders really want from an inside perspective. I've been a grant committee member and a grant judge, so I have the inside secrets on what they really want. So that's what I go off of, and just all around being that voice for the people to help them get the funding and grow their businesses. And I'm very, very passionate about about what I do. So I appreciate this opportunity. Thank you so much again, Sierra. It's a pleasure to be here.
Absolutely. No problem. Thank you. Thank you all for saying yes. I told them earlier, I'm like, thank you all for saying yes, because I know everybody's schedule is crazy busy. And so I appreciate you all.
Tongue in cheek, I'm going to say there's no passion in this room. There's a ton of passion in this room, and I love it. I love seeing this and how passionate you are about helping people, and especially women entrepreneurs. Which leads me to my first question. We may only get one question in. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Sometimes we only get one in the whole show. But what would you say to women entrepreneurs about, because let me back up. What I'm seeing here is a financial circle of resources for these women entrepreneurs, right? So how would you go about helping a woman entrepreneur to understand who they need in their financial circle? What resources do they need in it, and how to go about finding that right resource, and to build that circle around them that's going to help them be more successful. So let's dive in there and see where it goes. Ashtini, I feel like you've got something to add to that. There's something to say there.
Yeah, face lit up, huh? Yeah.
Yes. And will you kind of just repeat the first part of the question?
Sure. Sure. So for women entrepreneurs who don't have this financial circle, this resource, how would they go about figuring out what resources they need in that circle and how to go about finding the right resources once they've identified the what, how do they find the who? How do they
Yeah.
figure out?
Yes. So I would say if they definitely don't have that circle, I think it's very important to know where you are and be really honest with yourself of just where you are, and also have a vision as to where you want to go. And so I'm very big on not having a limited vision, and to make sure that you're surrounding yourself with big thinkers, so that you can dream and think as big as you want to, because I'm
Hmm.
a firm believer that anything is possible, right? And I teach that we don't do average, we don't live average, we go above and beyond, right? And so I operate in excellence, and the people that I surround myself, I want them to operate in excellence and have that standard for themselves. So at first say, once you really solidify that vision, you then I take my women through a phase where once they understand that, then it's like, man, okay, so realistically, how do I get to this number? Or what is it that I'm not doing? Do I have a budget, right? Do I have a CPA? Do I have a bookkeeper? Like, start thinking of those things are always very key. Keeping up with your paperwork, understanding what's coming in and what's going out. And then also knowing your status, right? So typically I do work with high earning 6 and 7 figure executives or entrepreneurs. But a lot of times, some of them, because they haven't been tracking things on paper, they find out that they're not accredited. And so, because I deal with investments that do require either like you either can be have a non-accredited investor status or accredited investor status, I many times take women through this process of identifying, let's identify your status, right? And if you're not accredited, how do we get you to that accredited level? And even if you're not accredited, what are the opportunities that I can bring to you for you to actually invest in, right? And so those are some of the things that they can really start doing. But then also, it's just walking into those rooms, it's getting online and getting in the Facebook groups. It's looking at the meetups, and looking in the financial rooms, connecting with the financial advisors, going to those events that stretch you, that call you to just a higher level, and they're going to expose you to all types of people, because that's part of even what I teach when it comes to accessing the capital and private money. I'm just having conversations with everyday people, because you never know who someone is or who they might become.
Mm-hmm. Can you clarify one term there, and that was accredited? Can you clarify what that means?
Yes. So if accredited investor status means that you have, you make $200,000 or more per year, or your net worth is $1 million plus, but that is minus your primary residence. So if you have like investment properties and things like that, that does count towards your net worth. And then if you're married, it's $300,000 or more per year. And so that's just what the SEC, which is our securities, that's regulated by the government, that's how they identify you. Mm-hmm.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. Who else would like to contribute to that? That question.
Everything she said, I love what she said by really identifying and understanding where you are, and getting in those rooms where it stretched you. I think a lot of times, we are so comfortable, and so we are afraid to go there. Oh, that I don't know, they might not, be. I encourage people the same way. Get into those rooms that's actually make you more comfortable, and you might have to pay to get in those rooms. A lot of times, getting into access, that's not going to be free all the time, and that's okay. But get into the rooms that stretch you the most. Honestly, if you feel uncomfortable, you're in the right place. And even I tell myself that. I'm like, okay, oh, this is outside my norm, but okay, Sarah, you never know. And I always leave with so much. I think especially with us women in business, we spend a lot of time. We're the ones that's normally pouring out to others. We're normally the smartest ones in the room or close to it. But I challenge other women entrepreneurs, other women in business executives. I challenge them to Go to somewhere else where you're not the smartest person in the room, where you don't know anybody, where this may not be in your city. You might have to drive 30 minutes away, something that's different, and just do it randomly and just challenge yourself to do it. The more you keep doing it, the better you'll get at it. And you never know who you may meet. You might meet your next investor. You might meet your next collaborator. You just never know who you may meet. So I'm 100% with that. And also vetting people out, talking with people, having those conversations, not being ashamed and admitting where you are. People will be amazed. People will meet you where you are and grow with you. And if they can't help you, you never know who they may know who can put you where you need to be and get you where you go. And you may not be as bad off as you think you are. So definitely having those conversations and getting into those rooms that stretch you. She said it all.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Leticia.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, they really said it all.
Ditto, huh?
Rooms, vetting out the people, knowing where you are, and being realistic with yourself. That's one thing that I teach my clients when we do our budget analysis strategy. Like, we have to know where we are. You have to know your money, because if you don't know where your money is, you don't really know anything about your finances. And so I always challenge my clients to go into a budget, look at your monthly statement, see what's coming in, see what's coming out. And again, when it comes to networking, like Sierra mentioned, get into those rooms, get out and network. Even if it's a free event, even if it's a paid event, you want to make sure that you are getting in those rooms, because again, you never know who you may meet. And like Sierra mentioned before, driving, 30 minutes maybe. Like I mentioned to Regina, I am in Illinois, about 20 minutes outside of St. Louis. And so, since St. Louis is the bigger city, most of my clients literally are in St. Louis. And when I do events, hosting workshops, or even just networking, I typically travel to St. Louis, and I'm traveling between 20 to 45 minutes, just depending on how deep out in St. Louis that I want to go. But I'm always putting myself in that, I guess, uncomfortable zone, because if you're comfortable, then it's like you're settling. And so I want to be able to make sure that I can network with people, vet people out, because I do feel like we come from the world of the COVID world. And so a lot of us are used to just being virtual, right? So we doing virtual appointments, meeting clients virtually, and it can be different for us once we're actually getting back out into the real world.
Yeah.
And so I do challenge my clients, hey, go to this networking event. You may not know someone, but that's okay. You can get to know someone, and who knows, once you actually start going to those networking events, you're going to start to run into the same people. And that is a way that you can vet people out as well, because if you start seeing the same people running in the same circles, or even in the same networking events, you can say, okay, well, I know this person is serious about their business, not just posting on social media. I've been to 2 to 3 events, and then I'm studying seeing the same person. So again, like Sierra said, being uncomfortable, vetting people, having your paperwork, and really having that vision on where you are and where you want to go.
Excellent. Love it. Maxine?
They said it all. They said it all.
Actually started.
Yeah, my thing is, I tell my students, if you are not uncomfortable, you're not growing.
True.
Never be afraid to grow outside of the box, because as long as you're in the box, you're gonna be limited to that box. You have to step outside of the box. It's no room for growth if you're just in a square. You have to get out of it, and you have to, go get into the room, network with strangers, because I've been in a space where here lately I have so many women that come to me, and even men that come to me for different things, and they're not even in my city. So sometimes you have to travel. They're not even in my state. Sometimes you have to travel. Sometimes you have to move on. Sometimes you have to move out of state, but you have to be able to step outside of the box. That's the biggest thing that I push for my students. And being in the comfort zone is putting limits on you. And I tell them, like, if you are a child of God, then there is no limit to what you can do. So
and we all are.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
We're all God's children, so we can't lack. We can't do like we can't go without because He's the ultimate provider. He is the source. So even getting into that space of, being a God kingdom entrepreneur, I just go by the Bible, what the Bible says, what the Bible tells us about business and entrepreneurship and being in not being afraid to get to know new people. You have to. In business. You cannot people get in business and they be like, well, my mama and my sister don't support me. I'm just like,
Yeah.
that's not your ideal client. It's not to discourage you, but it's to push you to find your ideal client, to find out who you're serving, where you want to go, what is your vision, what is your mission. I have them to dig deeper. Like, they know if you come to me and you're trying to get some funding, the first thing we gonna try to figure out, what's your business plan? What's your goal? What's your objective? Where are you going? How much money are you gonna make? What's your financial projections within the next 10 years? If you don't know that, we gotta figure it out. We gotta figure it out. But I love what everybody said. I agree with everything what all the ladies said.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So who would you say that needs to be in their circle? So we've talked about how to go find all those people quite a bit, but what are the different elements that they need in that financial circle? I mean, obviously everything that you all are doing. Well, so let's talk about all of those things and then all the other things that aren't represented here tonight.
Yeah, I think Ashley mentioned definitely like a CPA or a bookkeeper. And a part of when you're vetting people out, ensure a lot of people think all CPAs do taxes, and a lot of them don't. A lot of them don't even want to touch it. They prefer to strictly stick with the accounting side. They don't want to touch it. So, and that's fine because you still need them in your back pocket. You still need them on your team. So, having that source there. If you don't have a CPA, maybe you're not there yet, a bookkeeper, at least have a bookkeeper. I'm going to say have the tax strategist because, we ain't trying to get the IRS all the money. So I'm going to always have somebody that understands the code, that understands the code and how to help you save on that as much as possible. Of course, I would say, I would also say having an attorney, having an attorney on file as well, having an attorney as well. And also, between CPA, bookkeeper, tax strategist, wealth strategist, honestly, everybody that's on here, somebody that knows business funding, stuff like that, credit repair, things like that, because that all is the foundation of your business. I think Ashley said it and Letitia said it. If you don't know what's coming in, how can you track what you don't know? We don't know. A lot of people ask them what your profit was, what's this, what's that. They're like, I don't know. Oh, I've just been swiping. And so we can't operate like that. I mean, you can, but is that really, growing wealth? Are we sustaining our businesses like that when we are just, winging it? I think we lost Ashley. I think she was back.
We lost.
Yeah, we're
Ashley.
I think. Yeah.
So
we're just
hopefully she'll get back in.
Yeah. I think she'll pop back in. We just don't want to wing it. So definitely I think that would be a good financial circle. And it's honestly, a lot of times it's not as expensive as a lot of people think. Of course, there is an investment, right? It's an investment to have that. But when you have someone to kind of come in and help you see and understand your money and understand how to grow your business and scale your business using other people's money and how to retire, because we're all in business and we don't want to work forever. So how do we get our money to, retire, to get to the retirement part? And that's where Letitia comes in at. How do we not pay the IRS so much money? A lot of people think about, you're giving the IRS $30,000 checks, $40,000, $50,000 checks. That's a lot of money to be forking over.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money. That's a property for, that's a lot.
Yeah.
And then also when you're using your own money, you could have a business funding specialist. So for me, I would in my opinion, I would definitely say, of course, a CPA or bookkeeper, or accountant, tax strategist, a wealth strategist, someone that understands the business funding side, an attorney that can kind of help you with that, because that's a part of it too. And a part of helping you keep the money that you have, because things come up. And so you definitely want to have that as a source too. So if I would say that's like your little financial dream team, as you may say. But yeah.
Welcome back,
like
Ashley. Who
to
else?
that,
Yeah, Letitia, please.
everything Sierra said, and I also feel like you should have a mentor or a coach that's in your industry as
I was going to
well.
ask about
Someone
that.
who
Yeah.
has been there and done that, right? Because a lot of times when we come into this world, or not even to the world, but into the industries that we are in, we make a lot of mistakes, right? We are trying to
Yeah,
figure it out. You may go through multiple coaches. I know personally, I have been through multiple coaches and multiple mentors to help me elevate and scale.
sure.
And so I do feel whatever industry that someone is in, they should get with someone, even if they find a business bestie. I have a business bestie that we are in the same industry, because for me it's collaboration over competition. And so even though Sierra and I are in the same industry, it's never a competition, right? It's never like, oh, let me try to beat her, or let me try to do
Yeah,
something better than her. It's never that. I'm going to support her in whatever she does. When she has events, I've even shared some of her posts, and we do some of the same work. And so I look to Sierra as someone that I can say, okay, she has more experience. I've only been in the industry for 5 years. She has over 15 years of experience. Let me reach out to her and share my idea with her and see what she thinks, and vice versa.
very
Because
nice.
again, you have to be coachable, I feel like, in any industry
Yeah,
that you're in, and you also have to be
absolutely.
willing to learn as well. So I definitely think having that mentor or coach by your side to help you get through the levels that they've already been through, and to also help you to succeed as well.
Yeah. And
Absolutely.
I love what you said about collaboration over competition. Several of you do some things that fall into the same realm that I do in helping businesses to grow, right? To be more profitable. But we're not competition. We can collaborate here. We can learn from one another. And so, it would be so limiting if I cut myself off from everybody that can do what I do, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. Anybody else have thoughts on that? On
Yeah. Because
who
we can't
who
serve everybody.
yeah.
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 I was just gonna say I definitely to add a little bit more to like even the coach aspect, I'm very, very big on mentorship, or what they will say is you pay to play. I truly believe
Hmm.
and I believe that like I have mentors who served me at one level, but then now, okay, you pass up mentors too. So
Sure.
you have to be able to, you pay and get into the higher ones, and the ones that are just going to a whole new level. That is definitely required, because sometimes you'll be learning. You might find yourself getting comfortable with one person, but they're still teaching you what you already know. So now
Right.
it's to get uncomfortable again and find
Yeah.
someone who knows even more than what you already know. And of course, the collaboration piece is huge, but it's necessary, because the biggest part of the reason why we can't compete is because I'm a firm believer that someone's going to relate to me and my brand story, and they're
Yeah.
not going to relate to any of y'all's.
Exactly.
They will only relate to me and my brand story. So
Yep.
we can be doing the same things, but they're going to choose me because I have a certain brand story, just like someone may choose Sierra because she has a certain brand story.
Right.
And you could be doing the same thing, but there are people that you have your own tribe, and they're looking for your specific personality and all
Yep.
of those things. And so that's why I also believe a brand coach and
Mm.
strategist is really huge too, because I do
Yeah.
think that in this day and time, you cannot really build even a business. It's hard to really build it to the level that it could really
Right.
go without having established a solid personal brand too, because now
Yeah.
people want to know who's this person behind it, because people want to
Right.
they want the authentic, they want the truth, right?
Yeah.
Because this journey is not easy. So
Yeah. That's so
No,
true.
it's definitely not.
Maxine's
It's
agreeing with that.
It is not easy at all. It is
it's
not
not.
easy at all. Like just dealing, and I would definitely agree with the collaboration over competition. Getting those business besties, having a community with like-minded individuals, that'll help you grow as well. Also, please, I tell people, you got a coach. You have to get a coach. It saves you so much money, time, and headache when it comes to building their business and growing their brand. It's not always about, I run into a lot of people, well, why I gotta pay? Why I gotta pay? Right? You just say you gotta pay to play. You want to grow, you gotta grow. You want to grow, you gotta sow. That's just how I look at it. That's just how I look at it, because it's not, it's not easy in the industry trying to encourage people to do what, to push them to grow their brands and fulfill their purpose and grow. I'm sorry, my daughter is tapping on the window. Fulfill my purpose and fulfill their purpose and make their visions come to life, and which is what I mainly do with the businesses. When they come to me, they literally don't know what they want to do. They know they have an idea, but they don't know.
Yeah.
Wait. They don't know what it is, what it means to actually grow their business.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree. Definitely need a coach. Everything what everybody said, the coaching aspect, collaborating over competition, I'm big on that as well. It's enough money for everybody, so I don't really, I don't see the need, to do all the heavy competing, for it.
Yeah.
And you never know. You can only service so many people. Even if you have a huge team, you can only service so many people. And so many people out here that need our services. Like Ashley said, there's somebody that's going to relate to you more than me, and vice versa. And that's okay. That's totally okay. So I agree with all the ladies.
Are you okay with introducing them to someone else when you see that they're not the best fit for you, but they might be the best fit for this other person? Are you good with making that introduction and doing the handoff?
Absolutely. I have done that. I've actually done that. If I know that there's somebody that specializes in a certain industry, and that's just something that I don't specialize in, it's more than what I'm like, okay, hold on. I'm not the best person. Like nonprofits. Someone came to me about a nonprofit. I'm like, hold on, that's not my lane, but let me get you over to somebody that's their lane. They own that. Okay. Because I'm not an expert in every single thing. I wish, but I'm not an expert in every single thing. So
enough hours in the day, right?
My brain is not that big. But it's like, if I know that there's somebody else that can help you, most definitely I'm gonna send you over, because me trying to take on something that I know that's not my lane, that's gonna cause, I think someone said it, more headache for not just you, but for the client as well. And then that's how you build these bad reputations where, okay, well, you said you can do this, and then you charge them this money and you can't. Yeah. So to me, you would get more trust from that person if you said, hey, let me get you over to a trusted source that specializes in this for you, and hand off like that.
Yeah, and that is such a huge word for this whole discussion. And I was waiting for it to pop up, and that's that trust factor, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, this is awesome, ladies. Any additional thoughts on this part?
As far as the building trust?
Or building trust, or anything else in terms of who else they would have in their financial circle or should have. But how do we build that trust? That's a great question, Sierra. How do we build that trust? So anybody want to tackle that?
I'll say it kind of goes education, as Maxine said, education, and then it goes back to Ashley, what she said, brand, building your personal brand, showing up even when it's uncomfortable, going out the norm. And I just feel like, and just being yourself, being yourself. Once again, everybody's not gonna pick you. You're not everybody's cup of tea, is what I always say. I'm not everybody's cup of tea, and that's okay. It is totally
okay.
You can't service everybody. There's somebody for somebody. And so I think, showing up constantly, being consistent with whatever that looks like for you, building consistency, having a brand story, being aligned, staying in alignment of what your brand mission is and your values, and being who you are on and off social media, because that's a big thing. We can paint this pretty picture, but then outside of that, when I get behind the scenes and really work with you, or I'm interested in talking with you, you're a totally different person. And so that's, I believe in just keeping it the same. I know I do. So who you see here, that's who I am outside of this. So, I think, just doing that, that's part of what I would say, building trust. If any other ladies want to tap in.
Ladies, anything else to add to that? How we build trust?
Be
I would just,
authentic.
yes. Oh, yeah, I was just about to say that. Being authentic, I think, is
Yeah.
really big. And just even with our brand consistency, the brand messaging and that consistency, I think like even how you mentioned referrals, that is a strategy that I use to raise capital, right? To find and build these relationships because I have to give you something, right? It's sowing a seed, right? And that's just even a biblical principle. And so you are going to have to be able to actually care enough about people to learn about them and what they need and what they do. And then I make it my mission to actually go and find opportunities for me to be able to bring them to you, right? Because then you start building, that starts building trust with me. And then you're like, well, you remembered and you looked out for me, right?
Mhm.
And that's how those relationships start to build. But then
Mhm.
with the trust, but with the brand messaging, right? Consistently be talking about the same things and saying the same things. You don't ever want to seem like you're hopping from one thing to another, right?
Mhm.
Make sure
Mhm.
that people are seeing that you really stick it out. And I think, especially if you want to grow big time, you're looking for investors. They
Mhm.
want someone that's going to play a long term game.
Yeah.
So if you're not willing to play a long term game with your vision and what you're doing, why would you expect someone to trust you enough for them to invest their time or money into you? So I think just being very consistent in how you show up and what you're talking about, and continuing to just educate yourself as well.
Good point.
Mhm.
Letitia or Maxine?
Yes, everything that these ladies have said. If you are a business owner looking for someone in the financial space to build that team, as far as a bookkeeper, a tax professional, or even a CPA, because honestly, all three of those people do different things, and you
Mhm.
can find one person who could possibly do all of those things, which are okay. But I feel like if you want to build trust, I would definitely reach out to the person of interest. I
Mhm.
love a great coffee chat where you can even meet up with the person, or even to do a virtual interview with that person, and watch their Facebook, watch their social media, even Google them, because 9 times out of 10, I guarantee you, if you Google everyone's name that's on this live, we're gonna pop up on Google, um some way, some form, somehow, right? And
Yep.
so when it comes
Yeah.
to building that trust within building your team to elevate, you also want to do your own due diligence as well, because we can recommend people, but you also want to just make sure that you are doing your own due diligence, just to make sure that you trust that person and you are actually building a connection with that person for yourself.
Excellent. Thank you. Maxine?
Um, I would say, of course, I'm big on education. So, when I had my very first coach, she gave me this system. So, to build trust, you have to educate, 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 and then sell. You don't just
Yes.
sell, sell, sell. You have to educate people. You have to tell them why they need this. What's the benefits of getting this? Why you need a tax professional in your, why you need a CPA. Tell them why
Right.
and how it's going to help make their lives or businesses or nonprofits easier by investing in these things. That also
Right.
builds trust. Another thing that builds trust is accreditations. When people know that you're accredited with the Better Business Bureau, 9 times out of 10 they're gonna go with you because they feel like you can be trusted.
Right.
Certifications. When you have those certifications, like being, I'm working on certifications myself to build more trust with a higher end, clientele. Having those accreditations and certifications, like have being a certified grant writer and a certified funding broker. Those are the things that people want to hear because that says that you have you're
Yeah.
professional. You have a lot
Right.
of professionalism. You care about your craft because you're taking the time out to get certified in what you're doing.
Yeah.
So that's another thing that builds trust. Um, and just all around, just making sure that you hold yourself accountable.
Yeah.
Like if you let them know that you are not perfect and you're not perfect, you're still human, but at the end of the day, you are authentic. I'm very transparent with my clients and my students because I believe that I cannot I can't do it right if I don't be me. That's just
Yeah.
that's just what I believe in. If I
Yeah.
can't be my true self, then I'm not gonna do it right. So
There you go.
I believe in being raw and real
Mhm.
and upfront in your face. So
Yeah.
that's another reason why my students and my clients love me because I don't believe in fluff. I don't believe in fairy
Yeah.
tales. I don't sell dreams. I don't say once you take my class you're going to walk off with $1 million the next day. I don't do that. I don't do that. So they appreciate that.
Yeah.
That they I tell them that the grant process is not an overnight success.
Yeah.
Because most grant writers don't tell them that it's not going to be a fast process.
Right.
And it's not a guarantee that I have to. That's another part of education. I mean,
Yep.
that's education is the number one for me. That's the number one way to build trust for me.
The one word that comes to my mind out of everything that you've all said, the one word that I think that encapsulates all of that to some degree is integrity. Having integrity in everything that we do and say, privately and publicly,
Hmm.
just constantly having that integrity, I
Yeah.
think goes very far to helping build that trust. Ladies, we are out of time for the discussion, and we're going to move into our wrap up round now. And so, Miss Sierra, you are going to run the wrap up round for us. Would you call on each person, including yourself, to share their final thoughts about collaboration and their contact information? Okay. And while you're all doing that, I'll put your contact information out to the public for you.
All right. First, I'll go with Ashtony. I'll go with Ashtony.
Yes.
What are your final thoughts on collaborations? That's what I'm supposed to ask. So what's the final thoughts on it? What are your final thoughts?
So final thoughts just on the collaboration piece on everything.
Yeah, on collaboration. Mm-hmm.
On collaboration. Okay. Yeah, I would say final thoughts is really one thing that I do want to say is just to show people the journey. Take people on your journey, the journey with you, because at the end of the day, we all start somewhere. We change every single day, right? And I think that it is, especially when you're collaborating, for me, I want to collaborate strategically and with people, of course, that as well, they're like-minded, right? And I feel like when you take people on that journey with you and you show them how you show up, you show them the way you do present your work, right? The way you present events, if you do events, the way you show up online, all of those things, it matters because it's going to attract a certain person. And it's easy for you to stay consistent with that if that is who you are, right? And so I think the longevity of you just taking people on this journey of always, just talking about that same thing, but how you may be evolving and changing, because I do feel like we evolve and we have that, right to, for sure. And so I would say that is just really huge to really take people on your journey so that people really learn to they start to build a relationship with you online for a long time behind the scenes before they actually ever even approach you. So you have to remember that people are always watching, and they've been watching for a while. I tell my clients, it's like dating somebody, right? They want to date you. Nobody is, and you could have, I've seen people with some of the best accolades or whatever the case may be, and then they get in the room and you still can't do the job, or you don't. For me, I'm big on experiences, right? So your process does not give me a high level experience. Your process does not make me feel like I'm exclusive or special. And that's my type of audience, right? So I'm going to look for that type of individual to collaborate with or even to buy from. So I would just say, yeah, really take people on the journey with you. Don't be afraid, and get in the uncomfortable spaces for sure.
Mhm.
Sarah,
Yeah.
before we
Oh,
go on, ladies, I'm having difficulty getting transitioning your comments from the studio chat to the everyone chat. So would you go ahead and please, Ashtony, yours is there. But if everybody else would put your contact information in the everyone chat, okay? That while we continue, that would be great. Sierra, please continue. Sorry.
yeah, no, you're fine. No, everything you said, Ashley, was great. I'm the same thing on experience. And so even my mentees that I coach and things like that, I pride myself on that. I'm always like tweaking the experience, because that's like the client's journey, taking people through the journey. And experience is crucial, I feel like, in business. So yeah, I'm right there with you, because that can make or break a deal, regardless of how many, like you said, the accolades. If you might be probably the best person for the job, but your processes are just not good. It's this and that going on. So that, yeah, I'm right there with you. So the next person is Maxine. Tell me what your overall thoughts are on collaboration.
Um, Collaboration is it's a part of business. It's a part of growth. Um, it's a part of just being a business owner. There's no way around it. In my opinion, collaborating with other entrepreneurs has been a big part of my growth. And it has helped me tremendously. And when I think about the word collaboration, I can't help but think about growing, because if somebody is reaching out to you for your expertise, then that means that they see you. You're showing up. You're putting yourself out there as a professional. You are consistent. You are, educating. And I just feel like being in a space to collaborate and being humble enough to collaborate is a blessing, because not everybody want to see you, grow. They want to keep you in the box. So
Yeah,
just
Absolutely.
being humble and having that integrity and having that don't let your heart change. And I say this prayer. I don't care how much money I make. God, please don't let my heart change, and please don't let my posture change, and don't change my heart to give. Because in this space, people will try to run you low. They would try to just take, but you have to have that prayer life and that prayer posture, because man, it has been a journey. But I love collaborating with other women. I'm thankful for this opportunity. Thank you, Sierra, for
Absolutely.
allowing me to be on this space, and also thank you, Regina, as well. And it was wonderful meeting you, ladies. And I'm just appreciative of the opportunity.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your knowledge and everything else you shared. Like I said, yeah, you all are amazing. So I appreciate you all for sharing your time. And yeah, you definitely have to keep God in the midst. Like I tell people always, God is my manager. Go to God about it. Everything that I do, before anything, because yeah, none of this would be possible without him. None of
yeah.
it. Oh, so I'm with you there. All right, it's your turn, ma'am. What is your
Yeah,
overall thoughts on collaboration?
so yeah, my overall thoughts on collaboration, I feel that every business owner needs it. Because I do feel like you cannot go on this journey alone, and collaboration is great. Just for an example, again, Sierra and I, we are in the same industry and we are collaborating on this, and so I feel that don't be intimidated by people that are in the same industry as you, because sometimes
Yeah.
you do need that collaboration to move forward to that next level and to get out there as well. And when it does come to collaboration, it costs to be the boss. That's one thing I have figured out with being a business owner. It costs when you want to run systems, when you want to hire contractors or employees or have an office, those things cost. And so you need to collaborate with other people so you can learn how to do things and you don't make mistakes. Because being a new business owner, I've made plenty of mistakes, spent countless of dollars that I wish that I could get back, just trying to live and learn from each business mistake that I've made. But if you collaborate with people, it will show you that, okay, well, hey, I was actually going to spend money here, but now since I spoke with Sierra about a certain investment, I'm not going to spend my money here because maybe she already did
Yeah.
it. Maybe she already spent her money on something or a process or a mentor, and she's already dished out the tea. Like, no, don't spend your money here. I done that. Let's spend your money over here. And I had a great time doing this. And so I feel like when it comes to collaboration, don't be afraid to get in the industry of the people that's in the same industry of you, because I do feel that
Yeah.
will help you elevate. And even when it comes to collaboration, get with people that's outside of your industry, because you're still going to need a list of people. Even though we talked about the financial world, you do need brand marketers, you need marketing managers, you need a virtual assistant. Like, it's so much that you need. And so when you
Yeah.
collaborate with others, you will be able to get in that room to set up your business to elevate. And again,
Excellent.
collaboration over competition. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm big on.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, like you said, we're all here. We all do some of the same things in the same realm, and but we're all collaborating and being here, and it's a good feeling, and I love it. My final thoughts on collaboration is the same thing: collaboration over competition, always. And I would say everything that all the young ladies said here, all of that, I would include all of that, and on top of that, I would just say, be mindful that you don't need to collaborate with everybody. Every opportunity may not be the best opportunity. I had to learn that really quick. That make sure that it aligns. Yes, this person might be amazing and she's cool and y'all can talk, but what she does for her business and how you do business, it doesn't work. So we don't need to collab. I'll still share your things, but me collaborating with you, it just doesn't make sense because who you serve is totally different from who I serve. So I don't want people to get the idea, oh, collab, and everybody's, oh, I'm collabing, which is great. Like I said, I'm all for it. But we want to be mindful of how we're doing things, who are we collaborating with. The same way we talked about vetting out your financial team, you want to vet people out too. Even if these are your A1 people that you grew up with, it still may not be in alignment with what it is. Because I'm telling you, just like we're all collaborating here, people look at that. And so when you're collaborating, it might not seem like a big deal, but your name is on there. Your brand is on there. So you want to make sure that it all aligns. That is something that I had to learn early. Also, I think Letitia said it, but everybody might have said it. Don't be afraid to talk to somebody outside of your industry. I always say, shoot your shot. If they don't respond, they don't respond. A lot of times people may see me collab with different things, but you don't see how many times people left me on red. You don't see how many times people didn't respond, said no. And I said, okay. And we kept it moving, you definitely have to take your heart out of the business. Sometimes take your emotions out because that's okay. And what you may think is, let's see, what you may think is is blocking a blessing or maybe a missed opportunity. It may be, God protecting you from something. Maybe the reason why you keep it is because, you don't know what this person truly is on. So it's just like, making sure that you're aligning when you're collaborating, your collaboration aligns with the mission and everything you have going on. And then, don't be afraid to shoot your shot. Never know what may happen. And it don't have to always be in your industry. Don't have to be in your state, city, anything. I feel like we can all learn from each other in some sort of capacity. Like you can get something from somebody. So that's
Excellent. The other term, as you were saying that too, is that, in alignment with your values.
Yes.
Make sure that those people that you are collaborating with are in alignment with your values. And that comes back to the integrity piece as well, right?
Yeah.
They're closely closely aligned. Ladies, this has been wonderful. I was so excited when I saw who everyone was that was coming and the background that you all have in finance and all. I thought this is going to be an amazing show.
Yeah,
And I was
appreciate it.
not disappointed.
Oh,
This
no,
is
I appreciate the time, and I appreciate everyone for showing up. Regina, I appreciate the opportunity for allowing us
You
to
bet.
come and speak on your platform. So we are truly grateful. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, and hopefully we've made a difference in someone's life tonight or as they listen to it later. So I thank all of you. I thank you, Sierra, for being my guest co-host. I thank the rest of you for being here as our panelists. And I want to thank our audience for listening. We're so grateful that you support this show through your listening and that you go out and change the world based on the things that you learn here in this discussion. And we'll see you next time on Collaboration Conversations. Bye for now.